All right, everyone. Welcome back to Lakers Latest. I hope you guys have had a good couple days. I hope you had a good New Year's. New Year's Eve was yesterday, and I hope everyone has had a good New Year's Day as well, as that is what today is. And we are, excuse me, we are officially in 2026. That's insane to say those words out loud. I feel like every week that goes by, excuse me, not every week, every year that goes by, it just gets crazier and crazier to say like 2020 this, 2020 that. Like I remember 2010 when the ball dropped and we took in this brand new 2010, this whole new year. I remember Travis Pastrana did this crazy, I don't even remember where it was, but this crazy jump. Um, because that's what he is, like a daredevil. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy. It gets crazier every year. How quick stuff goes by sometimes. But anyway, like I said, hopefully everyone had a good New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and you reigned in 2026 appropriately. Yeah, I had a good time. But anyways, always coming to you from Studio City, California. It's a brisk about 57 out right now. It's at night, so we're getting to the end of the day. But yeah, let's get started. And talk about the Lakers' most recent game at home versus the Detroit Pistons. Um, it was not good, guys. It was not a good performance. Um, they lost 128 to 106. First half wasn't. I mean, the defense was not good in the first half. They gave up 70 points, but they also scored 65. I mean, they got outscored 36-30 in the first. Outscored the Pistons 35-34 in the second. The Pistons outscored the Lakers 26-23 in the third. And then they just dominated the fourth, completely took over the game in the fourth quarter. Outscored the Lakers 32 to 18. Just another very, very poor defensive game. The only reason the Lakers were really in the game was because, they were hanging in there. But, I mean, Pistons shot 63% from the field and 46% from three. That's just terrible. That's awful defense. And it wasn't just like, oh, they were hitting shots, contested shots. Like, it was poor defense again, and it just consistently excuse me. It is just consistently game after game after game poor defense, and there's no rotations, there's no cohesion, there's no chemistry. It's just like they're not giving a ton of defensive effort a lot of the nights, even when they score. And it's just not something that's really going to be conducive to winning basketball. I mean, again, giving Cade Cunningham a good game, like fair enough, Cade Cunningham's a really good player, but a guy like Marcus Sasser, who's not awful, but he's a decent player, but 19 points, 5 of 8, 4 of 6 from the field. Isaiah Stewart shot 6 of 6 from the field. Like they had so many easy baskets, and it's like an easy basket every now and then is fine, but the amount that they were getting them at the behest of the poor defensive effort, it's just not good enough. And it needs to be so much better. And at this point, 20-11, they were like 18 or 19-7, so they've lost like 4 of 6. They're starting to play better teams. They're home against the Grizzlies next, which I want to say should be a win, but I don't know the way they're playing. They have a home again with the Grizzlies. I didn't realize they play them. Then they play the Pelicans, Spurs, Bucks, Kings. Like it's still not bad, but it's going to get more difficult kind of as we go on. And I just think that the effort needs to be so much better. Needs to be so much better than what we've seen because it hasn't been remotely close to good enough. Obviously, this is reigning in the new year for the Lakers as well. So I'm hoping that they can kind of fix that. Obviously not every night, but hopefully at a more consistent rate than what they've been doing. Obviously, they miss Austin Reeves on offense, but defensively they should be able to make up for it, and they just haven't. And it's been very, very poor performance defensively. So yeah, I'm just hoping they're going to be better. I'm hoping they're going to figure it out. And yeah, we'll see what happens, but it's got to be way better than what it's been. All right, now I want to continue to talk about defense, but I'm gonna specifically, talk about Luka Doncic here. We know what an unbelievable player Luka is offensively. Even when I say, and I feel like we've seen a lot more this year, he falls in love with the three, which is really frustrating. You still know what he brings to the table offensively. Like even in this game, he had 30, 11, and 5, although he did have 8 turnovers, so it wasn't a great offensive game either, I would say. Um, but you know what an offensive talent he is. You know why the Lakers traded for him. You know why he's a franchise player. He's scored and done things up to his age that very few people in NBA history have done. Obviously, he doesn't have a championship yet, but he's a special, special offensive player. Now, we knew he was never a particularly good defensive player. That's not something that's a surprise or, a shock to anyone. But the defensive effort specifically has just been appalling. And if you see on Twitter, there's been videos of it and everything where he could be help, like someone drives by their guy and rather than try and help, he just immediately complains to the ref, or someone his guy gets by him like in the snap of a finger. Again, and I'm not expecting him to be an elite defender. That's not who he is. That's never been who he is. But when you're getting paid that much, you just sign an extension. Like, there is an expectation to me that you need to give a certain amount of effort, specifically on the defensive level. And also, you need to do that if you're ever going to expect to win championships. Like defense wins championships. Even if you're not that elite defensive player, you have to give that effort. You never know when that effort could be the difference in any play. And for him to just give up on so many plays and, complain to the ref or do stuff like that, it's just not conducive to the Lakers really ever winning games, specifically big games. So, yeah, I don't know. Look, the Lakers offense is still, it's been very good. I think it's definitely teetered a little bit lately. But the defensive effort has just been, it's been so bad, and it needs to be so much better. Look, he's going to be here a while. He's going to be the franchise player. I understand you don't need to be a lockdown defender. You don't need to be an all-world defender, but you got to at least give that effort, because when you put that jersey on, you're going out there to win, but we're also not asking you to, half-ass it. Like, you got to go out there and you got to give everything you have. Even if you're not a great defender, you got to at least try. And I think that's a reasonable expectation from us. So Luka's got to be better. The whole team has to be better, but Luka is the leader and he leads by example. So that also counts on defense. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, we need to get a better effort from him on a nightly basis on defense, man. Absolutely. I haven't talked about one of the guys who actually did play somewhat decent. I say somewhat decent. He only played 10 minutes. But that was Dalton Connect, who played only played 4 minutes, but he had shot well. And again, this is small. 10 points, 4 of 4, 2 of 2 from 3. 4 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. And again, I'm only pointing this out because, like, this is a guy who, like, we've seen what he can do last year. And I feel like, obviously, we've talked ad nauseum about this, but the non-Mark Williams trade just destroyed him. Like, and he obviously wasn't playing the same level as he was in December before, but something like that can completely destroy your mindset and your mentality. And I don't know if it's like he needs to go to a new team to really find that groove again. But whether he goes to a new team or whether he stays with the Lakers, he's got to get minutes because they got to at least try and bump up his trade value. So any game you can have like this, you'll take. But I don't know. I think you got to at least try and make sure you keep getting points, but you got to at least keep giving guys like him chances because the Gabe Vincents of the world, the Klebas of the world, like we know what they are. They're not gonna find another like notch in their game. Like we know exactly what they are, but Connect, I still feel like there's a ton of untapped stuff that they haven't gotten into, and I don't know if maybe they will or he needs to go elsewhere. But I do know that they got to give him chances every time they can get one. All right, let's end it on another trade candidate, Ayo Dosunmu of the Chicago Bulls. A guy I always loved in the draft, loved him in Illinois. And I've really been a big fan of his in the NBA for a while. This is a guy that has a very good value contract. His contract is he has a 7 million for this year, and then I think he has a player option after this year. But just a guy that is like a really good player, plays both ends of the court. Right now, this year, he I believe is averaging a career high 13.8 points, 2.7 rebounds, 3.2 assists, solid defensive player, zero point 0.6 steals, but he's more of a better one-on-one player. But shooting 49% from the field, 42% from three. This guy's a really good player. He's a young player. The Bulls are a disaster. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. Um, and he's going to be potentially a pending free agent. So to me, like that's a guy that could really, really help you out a lot right now. Even when Austin Reeves comes back, he's a guy that could be a big help to you. So I would definitely look into it, but I also don't know if the Bulls are trading him. But it would be surprised if they didn't at least look into it, given the fact that he's going to potentially be a free agent after this season. So guy I would look into, a guy I think that would be a really good fit on the Lakers. So we'll see if anything happens on that front. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Happy New Year again, and yeah, catch everyone later.